Something that I've noticed when it comes to observing women, specifically gay women or lesbians, is the fact that we are always trying to figure out who's gay or not, who to be with. And there's a reason why those thoughts play through our mind, because we are very few in number compared to heterosexual women. And so we kind of just are always looking and paying attention to women and trying to see if, hey, is she into women? But while you're busy trying to figure out if another woman is into women, especially you want to know if the woman is into women exclusively, you start picking up the same behavior or dating tactics of heterosexual women. For example, heterosexual women, because they have a very large pool of men to date or possibly just have a fling or a boyfriend, they kind of get a lot of attention. And because of the surplus of attention that they get from men, well, they kind of think that they have time and that they have a lot of options. And usually she will play games. And one of the games is called playing hard to get. Now, what does playing hard to get mean? Well, usually it means that a woman gives someone who is a suitor, someone who is chasing her, a difficult time. And what is the reason for a woman giving this suitor, usually this male suitor, a difficult time to get her attention, win over her affection, and ultimately be the one that he gets to be with? He gets to claim her as his girl. So it becomes a game to the woman or the female who is being chased, because she finds it to be entertaining. It kind of strokes her ego, because women do have egos. And it makes her feel good. It may make her feel more attractive. And she kind of has a natural high off of being chased by these different guys. But while she is enjoying being chased by the guys or guy, whoever, it could be one guy, it could be more than one guy, she's so caught up in her feelings of how it makes her feel that she's not thinking about how the other person is feeling or thinking. She really doesn't care. She just enjoys the attention. But during all this time of her being chased, she never tells the guy that he will never get her. So that's why it's a game, because she always ends up winning the game, or so it seems that she's always winning the game. But the guy or the guys who are chasing her or pursuing her, they always lose the game because they never win her over. But as they say, every game gets played out. Game over. And what happens when the game is over? Well, that's when everything settles in and you start facing reality. And the reality is people get tired of chasing the wind. Just think about what that looks like. Imagine chasing the wind. You don't see the wind. You may hear the wind. You may feel the wind, but you don't see it. And you can't grab it. You can't obtain it. And after a while, you become exhausted and you see that it's pointless. So you stop chasing. So that's actually what happens. The guy or the guys stop chasing the girl because they realize that they will never be able to have the girl. And they start learning that, okay, so this girl, she really is not serious about being with me. And he goes on to another girl who wants him. And then the girl who was enjoying all the attention, she realizes all of a sudden that she's not being chased anymore. And she starts wondering, well, what's going on? What happened? Why are they not chasing me anymore? And she finds herself all alone. And she starts realizing that people are not going to waste their time, even though you choose to waste your time. Because she doesn't realize she's wasting her time. You see, time is extremely valuable, and you never can take back your time. Once it's passed, it's already passed. Like yesterday is already time that has passed. You can't go back to yesterday. It's already gone. So all you have is now. And all of the people that chased her and pursued her, they're now gone. And why are they gone? Well, because she never gave them the time of day. And when you play games with people, that means you do not take them seriously. You think that the joke is on them, but the joke is really on you because you don't take your own self seriously because you're playing hard to get. And when you play hard to get, it's usually because you're really not thinking about the whole picture. You think you have time. You think that the options that are after you will always be after you. But that's simply not the truth, because those people who were really genuinely interested in you, a lot of them had a lot of great qualities. They were probably wonderful suitors. You know, just different qualities about themselves that showed they were good potential partners. But because you had so many options, you thought they would always be around, and you enjoyed the variety. You would just pick and choose who you wanted to deal with this day or that day. And then when you didn't want to be bothered, then you would just brush them to the side until you was ready to use them again. But you never made anything official. And so you always kept them wondering and guessing, at what point are we going to make this a mutually exclusive relationship? But you never communicated that to the people who were pursuing you. And the reason why is because you were playing hard to get. So when you play hard to get, all it means is they will never be able to get you because you're closed off. You have no intention to be got. Your intention is to basically use people for what you want. And then when you get what you want, then they're useless. Now, how does this determine how lesbians go about being in relationships with women? Well, they are constantly watching other women play these games. And one of the games is hard to get. There's other games that women play, but that's not what this video is about. It's about the hard to get game. And so because, there's lesbians who don't think that they have any models to learn from. They don't see any examples of other lesbian women and how they are supposed to interact with women and meet women and date women and have relationships. They kind of pick up what heterosexual women do. And they end up picking up that game hard to get. And it's a huge mistake. And I'm going to explain to you why. I've titled my video, Lesbians Need to Avoid Playing Hard to Get Games. I am Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author. Here on my YouTube channel, I provide my lesbian perspective. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share the video. Thank you. Lesbians need to avoid playing hard to get games. You see, you really can't do what heterosexual women do because, for one, there's more heterosexual women than there are lesbians. And then also, heterosexual women have more prospective partners to choose from. So with them being heterosexual, they, of course, are interested in men. And there's more men in the world who are heterosexual than there are lesbians. It really is. Because there's more heterosexual people in the world, whether they're male or female, than there are homosexual people, whether they're male or female. And so lesbians are a minority sexual orientation. So you have a smaller pool of people who you can date. And if you take on the mindset of a heterosexual woman, playing the hard to get game really doesn't benefit a heterosexual woman. But she's too blind to see it or realize it until it's too late. And I really don't recommend lesbians to play hard to get with lesbians, because lesbians already find it very challenging to meet like-minded women, to meet lesbians, to meet same-sex attracted women. That's already very challenging. It's a big hurdle to jump over. And so once you get to a point where you find out that a woman is a lesbian, for example, then you've got to figure out if this woman is attracted to you. And then if you find out that she is attracted to you, that she does like you, and then you start saying, well, I'm going to play hard to get because now you have this other lesbian's attention. Well, it really does not work in your favor, because you just have this one other woman who is interested in you, and then you want to decide to play hard to get with her because you see heterosexual women do that with guys. But again, heterosexual women will do that because they have multiple male suitors. Whereas being a lesbian, you might be able to get maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 lesbian women who are interested in you, like simultaneously at the same time. And that's not even necessarily possible unless you are maybe in some type of setting or environment where you're able to be around many women, but they have to be women who are interested in you. And so you do have the option of dating lesbian women or same-sex attracted women who identify as bisexual or pansexual or demisexual. So you have different women who you can consider dating and who may be interested in you as well. But it's still a more lengthier process. It's more complex for a lesbian to find out who's interested in her and if it's possible that they will be together in a relationship. Whereas with a heterosexual woman, she doesn't really have to think about, is he interested in me? Because men, they usually will always let a woman know that they're interested in her without her really having to do anything. Men generally tend to be the more aggressive, assertive sex, especially in the heteronormative world. And even though a lot of talk is going on about how men are no longer pursuing women and now they want women to pursue them. So you have to be mindful of where those type of messages are coming from, because usually those are men who are not confident or they don't have positive experiences with women. So they usually have a very negative view of women, because men who are confident, men who love women, they have no problem with pursuing women. They enjoy it. It's part of being a man. They have a hunt in them that is like a natural instinct, but not in the sense of necessarily to destroy a woman. Because if he's a good man, he enjoys actually showing to a woman that he's confident and that he's strong. And so that's part of the whole reason why men love to pursue women. But that's a whole nother topic. But I just kind of want to explain to you about how the heterosexual dynamic works. So it's not really that hard for a heterosexual woman to figure out whether or not a heterosexual man is interested in her. Whereas if you are a lesbian, because we don't live in a world that openly shows how lesbians are meeting up and dating each other, we're more kind of in the shadows. It's not easily detected. And that's because we live in a heteronormative society. And we have to kind of do our research, dig a little deeper. It takes a little bit more time to figure out if a woman is a lesbian or a same-sex attracted woman. And then even after you find out if she is, you still have to then find out if she is attracted to you and interested in getting to know you on a romantic level. So if you take on the same dating games that a heterosexual woman does, it really will hinder you as a lesbian or same-sex attracted woman, because the dating pool is smaller for you, and also because women dating women, the interaction and the energetic level is very different. It's not at all like the way heterosexual people date and meet up, because you're dealing with two females. So you're not dealing with a male and a female, because men and women, they're different. And there's going to be different energetic levels at play. Whereas if you are a woman, basically trying to be with a woman, the energy is different and we operate differently. So if you are going to be a lesbian who finally figures out that this woman is also a lesbian, and you find out that she's attracted to you and she's interested in you as well, and then all of a sudden you start playing hard to get, where you're not being transparent with her, you're not showing up all the time, she kind of seems to be chasing after you, and you're enjoying the attention, and you're kind of taking advantage of her. You're not considering her time. You're not considering her feelings and her thoughts. And you're doing this because of what you've observed. You say, okay, well, I saw, my mom, she used to do men like this. Or I would see my sister, my big sister, always did guys like this. Or maybe you learned this behavior from your female cousins who are heterosexual. Or you learned from other heterosexual women when you was at school or at work or wherever. So you started treating other lesbian women the same way that you observed heterosexual women or females treat heterosexual men or males. But it puts you at a disadvantage because you think that you have all the time in the world to play hard to get with this lesbian. But what you don't realize is that the lesbian that has showed you some interest, she may already have another woman that she really wants to be with. And she's basically just dating. When you're dating or if you're just kind of just mingling, you're not even dating, you're just trying to see who's out there and, kind of observing and just kind of getting to know people without officially dating them. She may be in that headspace. So if she picks up that you're distant and that you kind of expect her to make all of the moves all the time, she's going to look at you as if you either think that you deserve special attention because maybe you think that you're the femme who should be pursued by the stud. So you have to think about that as well, because what if you are a femme who's playing hard to get with this stud, and she looks at it like, okay, well, I know I'm a stud, I know I'm the more masculine presenting person, but we're still both women here, so why are you acting like I should make all the moves? And that may be a turnoff to her. And so she's not going to waste her time. The reason why is because she's smart enough to know that, hey, I don't have time to waste, and I'm already interested in someone else who's also interested in me. I was going to consider getting to know you better, but I see clearly you're playing hard to get, and I don't have time for that game. So she stops calling you. She stops trying to schedule dates and whatnot, because half the time you don't even respond to her text messages or answer her phone calls. So basically she's moved on. And she also is smart enough to know that, hey, I'm a lesbian. It's not like there's a whole bunch of us around. So if you're not interested in me, if you don't really want me, if you don't see the blessing that is before you, well, then that's your problem. And she's gone. And you can't be upset or angry about her not continue to be caught up in your game. So now guess what? You no longer have her as an option. And the problem is you think that you have options. If you really understood what options meant, it's very dismissive of another person, because you don't view them as being important. You don't view them as being a priority. So nobody wants to be considered an option. So that's where your mindset is. You view these other women as options, just like the heterosexual woman views these other heterosexual males as options. She doesn't see them as valuable people that she should really take seriously and prioritize. Another reason why lesbians need to avoid playing hard to get games is because lesbian relationships, they are not visible as, of course, heterosexual relationships. But when they are visible, meaning like somebody, knows about your relationship, whoever it is, they know you're in a relationship with the woman, or they know that you're dating a woman, or they know that you like a certain woman, and you are trying to figure out if this other woman likes you, and you may have let someone know. So what you've done is you've let other people into your world, and they are viewing from the outside, and they may not be lesbian, or they may be lesbian, and they're just observing how you interact with women. And so it's very important that you set a very positive example about lesbian representation and lesbian dating and relationships and how you treat women. Because the society we live in is already very biased and prejudiced and bigoted towards same-sex attracted people. And especially if you're a woman and they want you to, just pretty much be like every other heterosexual woman. And when you're not, they're pretty much, waiting to see you fail. So if they see that you're playing hard to get with women who are interested in you, they already know that you're setting yourself up for failure, because you're not taking your life seriously as a lesbian, and you're not taking other lesbians' lives seriously either. They'll just watch and observe, but they won't give you any advice as far as like, hey, maybe you should really give her a chance because she's really a nice woman. I mean, I think that she has a lot going for herself. No, they're not going to give you any good tips because they just want to see you mess it up. Because unfortunately, you have people who don't like to see you benefit in life. They don't want to see you in a relationship that's healthy because, hey, they may be lonely themselves. They may be in a dead-end relationship, or they may be single and just bitter. And if they're heterosexual and they're bigoted, you don't really know who that person is that's observing you. They definitely don't want to see you being a gay woman, a lesbian, doing better than them. So if they can just see that, oh, well, she doesn't take herself seriously. She doesn't take other lesbians seriously. I told you those lesbians, they're just always trying to prove a point that they don't need a man, when really at the end of the day, they don't get along. Women don't get along anyway. I don't know why they're wasting their time with other women anyway. They just need to just let go of their little feminist ways and just get it together. I mean, either you're going to be with a man, or you're just going to be a single woman who's living with cats. That's pretty much how they're going to view you. And so, of course, you need to be your own woman, and you need to be in the mindset of living in your truth, which of course doesn't entail you being concerned about other people's opinion of you. But what I mean is, you need to have a certain amount of respect and integrity for yourself and for other lesbian women, because we have a certain amount of honor and we have a certain respect and love and adoration for women. And if we are showing the opposite, well, people on the outside are watching, they're observing, and you're pretty much showing them how it's done. Because most people, and there's even lesbians and same-sex attracted women who have never seen a long-term, productive, healthy relationship between women. And so here you are in a position to have a healthy, successful, same-gender loving relationship as a lesbian with another woman. But instead of having that type of relationship, you choose to play hard to get and just blow it. And so other people are just looking at you like, what? Like, what is she doing? But again, they're just going to just watch. They're not going to tell you anything because they don't feel like they need to. But you're in a position where you can actually show other people that lesbian love is possible, that it's very real. And instead of taking on the behaviors of heterosexual women who you've observed all your life, starting with your family, why don't you just choose to love another woman because that's just who you really are. That's what you really desire. So dating a woman, getting to know a woman, it is a personal decision, but it also takes being responsible. It takes a level of maturity, and you have to do for yourself. You can't copy other people, because sometimes people's dating behaviors, dating techniques, even their dating examples are really not good for you. They may work for them, but they may not work for you. And sometimes you think it's working for them, but it really is not. Like, you don't see that person behind closed doors. You don't know what they're really going through. They could be having a meltdown, but when you see them out in public, it seems like, oh, everything's perfect. I want to play that game. How can I do that game? What can I do? But as a lesbian woman, you have to be an independent thinker. You have to be strong-willed. You have to be confident, and you have to be someone who is resilient and passionate about yourself and about women who are like you. Lesbians need to avoid playing hard to get games, because ultimately the game will be over and you won't win. And those women, those few women who really were great suitors, they had a lot going for themselves, and you knew it. But you thought you had all the time in the world. You thought you had options. You loved the attention. You loved just getting whatever you wanted out of these women, and you thought they would always be around. But you really didn't know that those women already were really studying you. They were learning you, and they understood that you were playing hard to get, and they moved on, as they should. And they're already with the woman in a very loving, happy, healthy relationship, and you're still single. You're lonely. You're upset. You're probably bitter, but you don't have anyone to blame but yourself, because you chose to play hard to get. You never had the intention of being in a loving relationship with a woman. So you need to really practice self-introspection. Really think about what you want and what you need. And take yourself seriously, and take other women seriously. Because, well, lesbians were rare. And we know that when the right woman comes around, we don't need to play hard to get. We need to go head on and get that woman. Because if you don't get her, trust and believe another woman will. I am Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share the video, and don't play hard to get.